And now we welcome in one of the newest members of the New York Football Giants, edge player Victor Dimukeje. Victor, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So, edge player, is that accurate? Is that how you would kind of classify yourself? DN, outside linebacker?
I say edge player, outside linebacker, edge player, someone who could set the edge, rush the passer, drop back if you need to be.
So describe your game for Giant fans that maybe haven't seen you play.
I'll say I'm a physical specimen. I play to my strengths. I just like the physical play of the game, do the dirty work. If you need me on special teams, defense, or rush a passer, set an edge, whatever to make the team win.
Yeah, you mentioned it, your size. You're 6'2", 260. A lot of guys playing the edge now are 6'1", 245. Right. You're a bigger edge. Giants boarded a similar guy, Chauncey Golston, who's also a bigger edge a little bit earlier in free agency. How do you utilize your size and your length? 33 and an eighth inch arms, I've looked that up from the combine. How do you utilize your size and length to be an effective edge player against the run and rushing the passer?
Yeah, I like to set a lot of my stuff with power, setting the edge with power, rushing the passer with power. And a lot of people might overlook how like my speed sometimes based on my size, but I feel like that gives me an edge on special teams also. I like to bring out special teams because, I kind of embrace that role also, defense and special teams. So whenever I'm on special teams or defense, I try to set it with power and then, move on from there.
How do you utilize your length? Is that something where when you're setting the edge, you're able to keep the guys off you a little bit and then you can see the running back and ID him and get after him a little bit?
Yeah, I have long arms. I'm a shorter guy. Edge, as far as the edge play, I'm a shorter guy.
Height doesn't really matter though, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I have pretty long arms, so when I go to power, long arm setup, anything, speed, power, I like to set it up with my long arms. It helps me out a lot, separating from the taller old linemen from time to time, and I feel like that gives me an advantage when I'm setting the edge.
I was talking to Chauncey when he came in last week, and I asked him about dealing with tight ends, and he goes, the one thing I was taught from early age, you do not let tight ends block you.
No, you can't do
that. Get into it.
Nah, if a tight end blocks you, I feel like you got to walk off the field. Like, that's the biggest mismatch in football, DN or outside linebacker versus a tight end. So I kind of embrace myself. Whenever I go against a tight end, it has to be like a demolition. It can't even be a close. It can't even be a battle. You got to win early. You have 2 seconds to get off the block.
I like that. All right. I'll get to your special needs in a second. We talked about the run defense. Pressure. You had an over 15% pressure rate the last 2 years. Maybe you didn't have a ton of pass rush snaps, but when you did, you were very effective in getting after the quarterback. What's your you talked about power, but what's your kind of go-to counter off of that power to try to get to the quarterback?
Like I said, I feel like a lot of people sleep on my speed. So I might beat you with power, and then my next switch up is speed. It could be like a power to like a pull or like a,
push-pull type of deal.
Push-pull type of deal. Like a jab and go. You might see power coming, and then I come off the edge. So it's different. I try to set my game up, work to my strengths, and, as the game goes on, you kind of get a feel of who your opponent and who you're going against. And I feel like that helps me throughout the game, getting my opponent's head and play my game.
You were coached by Giants outside linebacker coach Charlie Bowen down in Arizona. What is it about him and his style that, see, you're already smiling, that kind of attracted you to him and one of the reasons you decided to come here?
Yeah, when he hit me up during free agency, it was kind of a no-brainer. But when he actually got the job with the Cardinals, I was the first outside linebacker that he drafted.
Oh, okay.
When I saw it, I like his, tenacity, like the way he coaches. He brings that energy each and every day. And, just being able to reunite with him, I feel like we got a lot of ways to go, a lot of lost times, and I'm excited to get back to work with him.
How much, if at all, have you, on passing downs, slid into playing a little through technique to rush the quarterback? I
actually did a lot. I got a couple sacks, I think 2 years ago doing that. That was kind of my role on third down, playing the 1 and 3,
Nice. Oh, the 1 even too,
I feel like I feel like I'm versatile enough to do that, wherever the team needs me, and I just like embracing whatever role I'm given, and I feel like I could help the team whatever way they need me. But rushing the passer from the 5 through the 1, I feel like I could do it.
How does your pass rush plan change when you're going against the bigger guards or even the smaller centers as compared to maybe some of the bigger tackles outside?
It comes with film study, but I also kind of approach it just like I'm on the edge still. Because the guards are bigger than the tackles a lot of times, they might feel like I'm not strong enough to go through them, and I could do that. And then when they sit on the power, I could go to the speed. So I feel like it's kind of like it's a chess game at the end of the day. So just game planning, watching film, and know who I'm going against on the edge or inside. I feel like it's kind of the same approach for me.
All right, I love the fact that you're the one that kept trying to bring up special teams to me, which I think is great.
Right.
Talk about your core special teamer first and foremost. You play all the units.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think you're most effective in terms of your spots on these core special teams units? Is it kick coverage? Is it punt coverage? Where do you think you play your best ball in specials?
Yeah, I've kind of grown to embrace the role of special teams in this league. I've played defense in my past, but I feel like special teams have helped me like become the player I've become, because special teams is a grimy game. Like
sure
a lot of people don't really understand that. So
it is not glamorous.
Yeah, facts. So just the physical play on special teams, like just the grime, the physical play, and the constant pounding on all four phases, I feel like that also helps me translate to that grimy defensive style of play. And I kind of embrace it on punt. You know, I feel like my type of play on punt, like a lot of outside linebackers, you know, you gotta play to your strengths, which is, for me, physicality.
How much did playing specials help you work on your angles and working in space, right? Because you're trying to close on really fast guys
Right.
from far away, and you have to make sure that you set your angles, you stay in your lane. How much did that help that part of your game, kind of managing space against faster, more athletic offensive guys?
Right. You're going against skilled guys running 4.2s, and a lot of times, like, I'm one-on-one with those guys, and you know, I make a living, you know, making those type of plays. I feel like it gives me a thrill. You know, I tackle you. You're like 2 times less of my size, and I tackled you. That gives me a thrill on the inside. So, you know, just working on that aspect on special teams, and then like tackling guys on defense too. I feel like it helps my game. Like when you can make those one-on-one tackles on special teams, it translates to defense also.
I like it. All right, you mentioned the football part of this. How come New York, you think, was a good fit for you as a guy coming to the big city?
New York was a good fit. I'm an East Coast kid, and I've been on the West Coast for 4 years. And when I got the chance to come back to this side of town, you know,
where'd you grow up?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, okay.
Yeah, so it was a no-brainer. I mean, New York is a big city. The history, great edge players in the past, LT, Osimhen, Michael Strahan. There's a lot of guys. I can name it all. So it was a no-brainer. Just a lot of things. A lot of things was checking the boxes for me. And at the end of the day, I prayed on it and I made the right decision.
Were you a Ravens guy growing up in Baltimore?
Yeah, I was.
I mean, they've always had a great defense, and
Right.
now you come to another organization. Is that
Right.
fun for you, trying to be part of an organization that really values defense and specifically pass rush and play up front?
Nah, for sure. I just love aggressive defenses, you know, like the Ravens in the past, the Giants now. You know, I just like that type of defense, nasty, you know, hard-nosed defense. And I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Are you excited to play like outside cold weather football again after spending 4 years out at Arizona?
Arizona has some good weather, but I'm excited for a switch up. You know, I feel like New York, I could adapt to any weather. You know, as long as I bring my helmet, my shoulder pads, I'll be ready wherever I play.
What's the first thing you want to kind of do in New York when you have some free time, a day off, and you want to kind of check out in the city?
Just go to Manhattan, you know, just check out the city.
Have you been before or no?
I actually was here around this time last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I went to the NFL office, went to Goldman Sachs with Justin Tuck.
Oh, nice.
So it was a lot of stuff to do, just outside of football, things to do out here, and it was fun.
How much did you get to know Justin through the? I'm assuming this is kind of like an NFL player development program type of deal. How much did you kind of get to talk to him, and have you built a relationship with him at all?
Yeah, actually, when I went in there, his intern was one of my Duke classmates.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I mean, I was able to, you know, ask him questions and like talk about his life after football, and you know, he's a good guy. You know, I admire
Smart guy too.
Yeah, smart guy, Notre Dame guy. I was able to admire the stuff he did on the field while he played, but seeing how he transitioned off the field, you know, that's a big deal, and I respect him for that.
Absolutely. Victor, good stuff, man. Can't wait to see you here and working out in a few weeks. Thanks for the time. Welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me.
Victor Dimukeje, one of the newest members of the New York Football Giants.